The three main things that I tell a client when they're considering representation is number one, like you said, we don't have any fees until we win the case. So it's like before you start asking questions about like what am I paying you for, we don't have any fees. The second thing is the data just speaks for itself. Social Security periodically releases data, and you're about 3.5 times more likely to win your case if you have a representative versus not. Now, that's the national average for if you have a representative.
Right.
Our company wins more than the national average, so for us, it's going to be higher than that. So
Yeah.
just in general, you're gonna win. You have a higher likelihood of winning your case if you have a representative. And then the third thing, like you said, it's completely up to you. At the end of the day, you don't have to have a representative.
Right.
You know, if you're arguing about why do I need one, don't hire one.
Right.
You know, it's not like it's required from Social Security. I think they recommend it because it just makes it easier on their end,
It
especially
does.
at the hearing level.
Yeah, and there are cases, we talked about this before, there are about 40 or 50 cases a year, which doesn't, maybe sounds like a whole lot, or maybe it depends on what you,
Yeah.
how many do you think I represent a year, which is, hundreds and hundreds.
Substantial, yeah.
But 40 to 50 cases a year, we don't get any money on, and there are even more than that we don't take. And they're great cases. They are absolutely, you are going to win your case. And they're kind of slam dunk cases. They're sad cases because a lot of them are terminal. Whereas, they'll call me up and they're like, I just got a horrible diagnosis. I've got, I got lung cancer that's metastasized, which is spread to the brain. Like a client calls me up and tells me that he's got metastatic cancer. He's talked to his doctor and things are bad. So what I will normally do is, you don't need me. You don't need me. You need the path report, the pathology report that shows that you have cancer that is metastatic. It's spread to some place. And Social Security will take care of everything else. If you can't do that, if you can't do it on your own, we will definitely take your case. And we're going to win that case so quickly because there's a 5-month waiting period. We'll probably win it within the 5 months. There won't be any back pay.
Yeah.
And if there's no back pay, I don't get a fee. And do I have a problem with that? No, I do not. I absolutely will take those cases. Like a lot of them, if I believe that you're capable of doing everything on your own, I'll give you the keys to the kingdom. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to get from your doctor. This is what you do. This is the address that you send it to, and then you should be good. Or, no, Mr. Groves, I can't do any of that. Can you just take my case? Yeah, I'll take the case. And then I'll do all that. And, 3-4 months later, you get approved. We'll get a letter. We're not approving any fee in this case because the case was won in the waiting period, and there is no back pay. And I don't have a problem doing that because it's the right thing to do. And we do. We take about 40 or 50 of those a year that we don't make any money on, and then there's several more that just talking to you on the phone, I will tell you, if you've got this condition, do you have a pathology report? Yeah. You could do this on your own, or have your wife do it. You don't need me.
Yeah. I mean, the way that the contingency fee works, which is just that we don't make any money unless we win the case, that really does align all of the incentives for what we do. Like if I talk to a lead that is about to become a client and I tell them, hey, it sounds like you have a great case. If we want to represent you, is that something you want to move forward with? That's basically me saying, like, I'm confident that it'll be worth it for us to work for free for several months or over a year.
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure we can win your case. We're not going to take a case we're not confident we can win.
Nope, I can't afford to do that.
Yeah.
I can't roll the dice, and I will tell you that if you've heard any bad things about Social Security representatives or Social Security attorneys, if you've ever heard any bad things about them, and I'm sure you have, it is the ones who'll just roll the dice. I'll take your case.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to roll the dice.
And then you never hear from them.
Well,
they
yeah,
roll the dice and then you don't hear from them.
Yeah, it's the telltale sign of that kind of representative is if you lose the hearing. Okay, you get denied at the hearing, and they drop you like a hot potato.
Yep.
Yeah, we have taken it as far as I can go. Good luck to you. It's like, well, there's another level within Social Security, and then there's the federal courts. And I've always been of the opinion, if I thought the case was strong enough to argue it before a judge, and then the judge disagrees and denies the case, why is it that all of a sudden the case is not that strong to me anymore?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me. Now, there are some circumstances that happen in the hearing.
Yeah,
that
like if
I'm-
they just lie to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had a couple hearings in February where my client basically told the judge, well, if I really, really pushed myself, I could work, but I mean, you just don't know what this pain is like, Your Honor. Wait. Did you just tell the judge if you really pushed yourself, you could work? And when the other guy said something else, anyway, there were two of them in February, and they both said that they could work. The interesting thing is the judge knew that one of them was absolutely wrong, and I've already got the approval on that one. And the other one, she denied it. I mean, the judge denied the case. Why? Well, he said he could work.
Yeah, it's
So in those cases, after the hearing, and I review it, and I'm like, can I make an argument that, my client wasn't being honest when he said he could work? It's so backwards. I don't know if I can make that argument to the next level, which is the appeals council. But the vast majority of cases that we come across, if I can't convince the judge in a hearing, my attitude is, all right, well, I'll convince the appeals council that I was right,
Yeah.
and I will appeal it. If I thought it was strong enough to take in front of a judge, unless there's something happened in the hearing that just makes it weird, that almost unappealable, I'm going to appeal it to the appeals council.
Yeah.
And again, telltale sign that you have a representative who's just rolling the dice is, I don't take cases to the appeals council. I'll argue them at the hearing level, but if we lose it at the hearing level, I'm done. Wow. Okay. Not really sure that you can feel good about being an advocate, but okay. That's a telltale sign. And my goodness, they're out there in droves. Tons of them.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of claimants, when they get the denial at the hearing level, they're just absolutely confused about, I can't believe the judge denied me. I have a good case, and they don't know what to do. For us, we see a really bad decision by an ALJ, by a judge, and we say, yep, that's another really bad decision by Social Security. We see these all the time. Let's take it to the next level.
Yeah.
It can be surprising, but it's not like, there's a process. There's a procedure for what to do next.
Yeah. Had a case yesterday, and we're kind of getting off topic, but I think this is pertinent to what we're talking about. Had a case yesterday that I appealed to the appeals council. The hearing was in January, and I begged the judge, please buy a consultative exam in this case. He hasn't been to his mental health provider in like 8 months. But in the hearing, he was just scatterbrained. He was all over the place, and that's one of his disabilities, is that he just couldn't focus on something. I was always redirecting him in the hearing. The judge was always, Mr. So-and-so, I asked you this, but you're giving me this. I need you to stay on topic. So she's giving him, some redirection. I'm giving him redirection when I cross-examined him. And then I begged her. I said, if we could just get a mental status exam and find out what's going on with him. And she agreed. And we got it, and the exam was absolutely, this guy's got really bad problems. His insight and judgment are poor. He's markedly limited in his ability to handle simple instructions. He's markedly limited in this. He's markedly limited in that. And I'm like, all right, well, we got what we needed. She denied the case and said basically, well, that was just a snapshot of his impairment, and it wasn't indicative of what he was like, consistently. And I'm like, what do you mean? There are no consistent records, which is why I asked you to buy the exam and why you approved the exam. And the exam itself stands on its own. And so I sent that to the appeals council yesterday. I'll get a remand on that.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. But again, that's the thing. I'm not going to take your case if I don't think I can win it. If I have spent hours and hours and hours and hours on your case, arguing it to Social Security, losing at the lower levels, and then taking you in front of a judge, losing it at the judge level, unless something went down in the hearing that is just, something happened that there's no way I can appeal this. I can't argue with what the judge said. Unless that happens, and that's very rare, I'm appealing it to the appeals council because I'm an advocate.
Yep.
I'm not going to roll the dice with your case. If I believe I can win it at the beginning, I should believe that I should have won it in every level since then, and I'm going to keep on going. I've said this in podcasts before. When I first started, I got not a bad reputation, but I got a reputation from within Social Security that I was a bulldog. And I'm like, I'll own that. I'll own that. And my whole philosophy was, I don't see a denial as a no. I see a denial as I just haven't convinced Social Security yet, and I'm going to keep trying.
If you have a question about your disability case, give us a call at 615-453-9151 Monday through Friday, or click the link in the description of this video.